Hello, shalom, hola. Welcome to the Spiritual Life with me, Travis Tidwell, Mystic Psychic Medium. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is actually episode 6 right now. Oh, excuse me, 7. That's right. I'm looking at my executive producer, who's also my daughter, who's also my high priestess in my organization called Sacred Dragon. As everything we're doing is not only powered by YHVH, or Divine Source, but by Sacred Dragon, which is a new philosophy that not a new philosophy, but a philosophy that I've kind of resurrected through Hermes. It's an organization that's really more like my religion now, and how I live my life, and what I promote with people, and not only people I share this information with, but people who I teach, who are part of my organization. Because I'm out there making high priestess and high priest every day, and I make Reiki masters every day in this life. So whatever you want to achieve spiritually, it's out there. And I'm hoping that you've listened to my other 6 episodes and you're getting something out of this for yourself, because I'm here to empower you and share actual factual information. I've been doing my spiritual work. I've been on the journey and the path for 30 years now. And there's a lot of things I do. A lot of information, I've uncovered. I teach and study the mysticism of Kabbalah, which is very fascinating. And today we're talking about gods and goddesses and Yahweh, and how myths are actually history for every culture that we encounter, and as well as that we know. And I'll give you the example: Greek gods, Zeus, Hercules, all of these different deities, and that culture was real. It is real. Even when I look at the word, the Lord God of Israel, it's the Lord God of Isis, Ra, and El, because the Divine Source is the source for all gods and goddesses. And that's just the way we look at that. There's a phrase out there that says He's the formless one who's manifested all things, who has many names. And our Divine Source does have many names. And in the Sacred Dragon philosophy, we love Buddha, we love Ganesh, we love Shiva, we love Lord Krishna, Lord Rama. We love everybody. Hermes is my main guide. And over 2,000 years ago, there was an organization by Hermes called the Divine Pymander, which in Egyptian meant, or it still means, School of Shepherds. And that's what I have. I have a school that I teach women and men, so a school of shepherds and shepherdesses, and I empower them. I create and give them the same gifts that I have, and uncover their gifts for them. And I have living proof of people that are successful right now spiritually, and have been for many years, who've been with me and who know me. And again, in this episode we're talking about gods and goddesses. So there's nothing wrong with communicating with other gods and goddesses. A lot of Christians don't have that belief system. Jesus is everything. I love Jesus. He's actually my 3rd level Reiki master healer teacher for me. But again, we know Jesus was a man. He's an avatar. And he is the captain and the representative of the Christ. He's Jesus, Lord of the Christ. And there's still no power bigger than Yahweh and the Divine Source. And knowing that, we look at the Kabbalah showing us that there is a chain of command. And, we also know that, again, I promote this in all of my podcasts, that we're all starseeds visiting here. So there's many different gods and goddesses here today. Let's go back to us as Americans, and whether we're Irish or Italian, or no matter where our culture is, we've been, programmed on this Adam and Eve consciousness. And at some point, it ignores the fact that there's other gods and goddesses created. In the Viking culture, they don't believe one god's enough, And there is 9 gods in most cultures, goddesses. Because 9 is also a very much perfected number in Kabbalah. And, we have the sun god, the wind god, the goddess of water, and these type of elements too, and phrases and deities in this life. And so when we look at gods and goddesses, we have to realize that they're real. And again, this is how we change our thought forms. This is how we become more connected to the reality of where we're really at in this world. Let's forget about the planet, the fact that we're on a giant rock floating through space, because we are. And that right there says a lot for us. As we're imported in this planet, as I said in episode 6, we can see here there's evidence of other gods and goddesses. We go to other cultures here on this planet who've been star-seeded just like us, who actually have more to show than we do. I mean, we leave America, we see buildings that have been up for over 2,000 years. I myself can't wait to go to Greece, to the Delphi Circle there, the Oracle, the Delphi, it's still there. So, you know, as Americans, we need to change your thoughts. We need to have a cosmic blend of thinking. Now, in looking at all gods and goddesses, once you acknowledge Yahweh as the Most High and Supreme, and hopefully you know the Ten Commandments or you're learning them, then you can start communicating with any god and goddess you want. Now, one of my friends is Ganesh, who appeared to me in a meditation one time when I was visiting with a Swami from India. And it was amazing how I became connected to this elephant god and didn't realize who he was in the beginning. And now I have him everywhere, you know. And to be honest with you, I mean, I was born and raised Catholic. I've studied many religions, Jehovah's Witness, baptized Mormon at one point in my life. And, you know, becoming spiritual was my absolute peace of mind and connected me to God more than anything. But I also want to say that Buddha was my re-entry into the Christ consciousness before Jesus. As Christians, there's just a lot of corruption with that religion, with all religions really, and at a lot of levels. And it's really better to live by the Ten Commandments and have simplicity in your life and really be more connected to Yahweh. Now, again, going back to Ganesh, a great friend to me, a God who I do honor and bless in prayer. He's the God that will help you overcome your obstacles. And so, you know, it's like anything else. I work with my angels all the time. All my angels have been close to me now. Ariel, that includes you, because that's my angel, is Ariel. If you don't know who your angel is, you can email me at travistidwellpodcast@gmail.com, and I will respond and tell you who your angel is, your assigned angel, which you can hold responsible on the day of reprogramming or judgment, is however you want to look at that. The gods and goddesses here now on this planet who are still active are here to help to enrich our consciousness. Now, even though I'm not Wiccan, I was married to a Wiccan. I have some great Wiccan friends who are very much goddess conscious, and they are God conscious to a degree, but not to the degree that I am, because they're not really into the Kabbalah aspect of life. And I love the goddess, but I cannot worship the goddess before Yahweh. But once I acknowledge Yahweh and worship him first, then I can worship the goddess and acknowledge her and show her the love that she deserves. So it's really all about acknowledgement through chain of command. It's about having a balance with all gods and goddesses and having a respect for all gods and goddesses. One time I heard somebody say that the Dalai Lama and Buddha were going to go to heaven. It's like, you got to be joking me. You know, we need to raise our vibration. We need to raise our thought forms and come into this cosmic blend of thinking so that we can all live together. That's the problem we have now in America. You know, it's not black or white or brown or yellow. It's all about we're starseeds. We're citizens of the Milky Way, the galaxy of the Milky Way. And once we start looking at that as the reality of our lives, and we start living like that, it's going to be a happier planet and a happier universe. It's just like Jimi Hendrix said, when the power of love is stronger than the love for power, we'll have happiness here on this planet. And to do that, we're going to have to become not only spiritually conscious, but we're going to also have to acknowledge the other gods and goddesses and cultures here. You know, and I feel that when you do that, you open your heart. And then, you know, for me, these are all my friends. Buddha, Ganesh, Shiva. I have my food dogs on the altar. There's many deities that I'm connected to. Hermes is my top guide. So in your life today, if there is a God that you're connected to, Buddha. Now they say never ask Buddha for help, and you'll have harmony in your life. So I don't know. I kind of trip on that a little bit. But also I have Sai Baba on my altar. Let me tell you, I'm not a Sai Baba devotee, but I love Sai Baba and I admire him. And every devotee I've met through him has just been a great soul and a great spiritual being. And if you haven't checked him out, check him out. He has over 1 million followers. He has something called Vibhuti that he made coming out of his hands, which you can still get your hands on, even though he's passed on now. And just a great energy and a great promoter of love, and helped humanity. He's helped humanity in his country, India, with hospitals and things of that nature. And also remember that whatever you're looking at for a system of information, or anybody that you're following or trying to have as a mentor, see what they're putting out in the universe. What are they doing to help empower people or change their lives or work for the human race or humanity? Because that's what it's all about. If you're dealing with gods and goddesses who are positive and promoting love in their culture, and they can extend us their empowerment and love, and we can extend our love and admiration to these deities, then so be it. I'd rather be friends with everybody in the universe than just be one-minded about one god or one deity or just Jesus, when there's way more to this galaxy than Jesus, and that's out of love. I say that tonight. And we were looking at, me and my daughter, we love the Greek culture. We're always talking about Greek gods and goddesses, and man, it's amazing when you look at some of these cultures and some of these other stories, how it works, and the lack of morals, and everything that goes on in the Greek culture is kind of crazy. But I mentioned on my other podcast about the Egyptian culture. They tell you they come from the belt of Orion. There's some Native American tribes here in our country that tell you that they come from the seven stars, the seven sisters, which is the Pleiades, and the Keys of Enoch, which is one of the books that I facilitate and study. They tell us that the Pleiades is the cradle for our universe. And again, the Pleiades are different deities, reptilians, and these are also connected to us. And when you see the Egyptian god statues and what they have there for their hieroglyphics, you have to remember that the Egyptians never created anything out of imagination. Like, they didn't just sit down with a drawing board and go, hey, let's just think something up. They only painted what they saw. Okay? Now, it's believed that they had hybrid beings. And they were multi-talented, multifaceted, with so much different information. They were extraterrestrials here. In fact, it's great to know that all cats on Earth were brought in from Orion with the Egyptians. They're extraterrestrials. All cats are extraterrestrials. I say that. My cat's in the room here right now while I'm podcasting. Her name's Magic. She's a black and white cat. She's a temple cat. She's from Egypt. I have a past life with her in Egypt as my temple cat. Bast is one of my favorite cat goddess rather, excuse me. What do we have? Osiris and Isis. We have Ra, Horus, Bast, Mat, and Hathor. Those are my main deities in that culture. And I have the Eye of Horus tattooed on myself, and I have Horus everywhere. I love Horus. So back to my Gods and Goddesses episode here tonight. Figure out a god or goddess that you're connected to. Incorporate that god or goddess in your prayer. As I say in every episode, you should be saying, all my angels come close to me now. And if you don't know who your assigned angel is, like I said, you can email me, Travis Tidwell, podcast@gmail.com, and I'll tell you who your assigned angel is. But if there's an angel you feel that's with you, put their name out there, whether it's Michael, Uriel, whoever. And if there's a god that you're connected to, put that out there in your prayer too today. Don't just have Buddha sitting on your altar. Don't just have these little figures and think that you need to really put the energy into it for prayer. You need to do that meditation and connect yourself with these different deities to empower yourself to be a spiritual being. And also to be spiritual, you better be spirited. So get up off your butt. Don't be sitting around at home doing nothing. It's very easy to do because we're always in our mind. We're either in our emotional body or our mind or our intellect, or all three at the same time, which is a mess. So being spiritual also tells us that we're being rational, we're keeping it real, we're looking at anything we can to empower ourselves through Mother Earth and through the divine source. If anybody out there who has a story or a god that they'd like to share with me, you can email me at the address I gave you earlier, Travis Tidwell podcast, Travis Tidwell podcast @gmail.com. I'm a psychic medium for 30 years now. I'm a teacher, many levels. My organization is called Sacred Dragon, and that's what's powering this tonight with my executive producer, Athena. I do have some high priestess and high priest in my organization current now. My organization tends to be small right now because I'm looking for real quality people. I'm hoping at some point to get this podcast with premium subscribers, so I'm hoping that we'll get that set up here in the near future. And if you want more time with me, or you'd actually want to start taking some classes with me, I teach so many different things. My website is travistidwell.us. And that'll tell you something about me, more than what I'm sharing with you right now on some level. But I'm definitely multi-talented in everything I do for a living. Teaching the mysticism of Kabbalah I do for a living. And it's just been a great journey for me so far to receive this information and also share it. The Sacred Dragon is a great organization. If you're curious about that, again, you can email me, and I will email you back. You can find me on Facebook, Travis Tidwell, and you can find me on Instagram as Son of Yahweh, or Son of YHVH. And I'd be more than happy to connect with you there too. So, I hope at some point that what I have shared with you this night, has made some sense. I hope it's opened up your subconscious mind a little bit for you and your rational mind. I hope that, if you don't know your spiritual body that well, that you'll study your chakras and get more in tune with yourself, because the more you do for yourself, the more you empower yourself, the more you invest in yourself, the more knowledge you seek for yourself about yourself, the more power you're going to have. And I'm here to help you do that. We have episodes coming up here. My next episode, number 8, will be talking about chakras and colors and things of that nature. My last podcast, I gave you I Am. That I Am is an empowerment mantra for yourself. In this program here tonight, spiritually, again, I'm sharing with you to find a god or goddess, include that in your prayer, and do your angel prayer. All my angels come close to me now, and make sure that you're putting that in the air every day for yourself. Also, too, I'd like to leave you tonight with the fact that if you're really spiritually conscious, I would make sure that you're blessing your food and just giving thanks for everything that you have right now in this life. On that note, I want to end this podcast, and I want to refer everybody to my album, Time Has Come by Travis Tidwell. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, it's everywhere. And you can also go to Travis Tidwell Podcast on YouTube and watch this podcast. As we speak right now, my executive producer is filming this. I want to give a lot of thanks to my executive producer. I want to give thanks to Yahweh, the God Hermes this night, Sacred Dragon, and all those who have assisted me in getting this far in my life. And all the people, the clients and friends and the following that I do have, and the people in my life, I want to give a lot of thanks to them. I always like to give a shout out to Shelly Rosa Salon, because she does my man makeover. I'm a firm believer as a human being and as a man that you need to take care of yourself. Women go to the salon and get their hair colored, blah, 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 blah. We need to do the same thing, man. Remember, we're gods, and our women are goddesses, and as long as I'm a god and you're a goddess, we're going to get along. So on that note, peace and love to everybody out there, and I hope what I've shared with you would be a blessing, a benefit, and a service. Many blessings.